Good afternoon. It's September. It's getting that time of the year where we're looking at the turning of the leaves and election time. I happened to stumble along something this morning that really got my attention. And it reminds me of almost someone going to the doctors and they say, I have a little lump on my arm or a little lump on my leg or a little lump on the back of my shoulder. And the doctor says, well, let me take a look at it. And he says, a good possibility you might have cancer. What, from that little lump? Well, that's what I found out about this organization in Ohio called Black Fork Statistics, or Strategies, I'm sorry. And it's been caught submitting falsified voter registrations. Now, it's an organization that is throughout the entire state of Ohio. And I'm sure it's not restricted to the state of Ohio. But what they do is they go out and they falsify these records, getting absentee ballots or whatever they do. It's just something I just stumbled onto. I'll have to look at it. But it's a massive, massive voter fraud organization. And we've all heard of somebody getting these phone calls or emails or questions about their voting, their addresses and stuff. Well, apparently it's this type of organizations that go out and get millions of votes that are fraudulent. And the Attorney General in the state of Ohio is investigating it and is recommending of certain counties, Hamilton County, Cuyahoga County, and Cleveland, to look into the voter fraud that these people are organizing and exposing it. And hopefully we'll see what they're doing in other parts of the country as well. And something to keep an eye on as this thing develops. And because we do have a really hotly contested election, and these polls are kind of fraudulent, as we say. They make they're skewered. I'm sorry, is the term that they use. That they'll interview more Democrats and Republicans, and they get the higher polls that reflect these polls. And or someone once said, the best polling is looking at the rallies. How many people go to a rally? What is the turnout? What is the enthusiasm? And certainly Trump's. There's no question between Trump and Biden and Trump and Harris about the enthusiasm throughout the country of Trump. And really now we're just getting to the election part of the year, so we'll see these, and it'll be quite interesting. And Kamala's not doing very well. She has a unfavorable image with the people who work for her, and she had like a 90% turnover of her staff as vice president. And there's a video going around now, and it's made up of black women of all backgrounds and hairstyles and colors and education and like. And the video it says, "I'm not with her," and these black women are just flat out saying why they're not with Kamala. And the formation of these strong-willed women are very, very important. And this video has over 4 million views already, and it says that they're really swinging, have an effect upon black women that are voting for Trump. And with the black men is that, and this is a very large blocking, a vote block for the Democratic Party. That's why they're bringing all these illegals in, because they're losing the black vote. Trump in the last election had 12% of the black male vote. And looks like he's polling at right now 30% of black men are voting for Trump. That's double what he did in 2016. And the black women who voted for Biden the last time in 2020, it was 95% of black women voted for Biden. And roughly the same supported Hillary in 2016, and in 28 with Obama and 2012. So if they can double, or they're getting a large percentage of black women, that and a 30% of black men is a tremendous voting block for Donald Trump. And apparently her running mate, the governor of Minnesota, really hasn't done her that much good, because the people in Minnesota don't seem to like this guy. Not only is he lies about his background, whether it be a head coach of a state championship football team or that he's a sergeant major. His own brother has come out and said he didn't like him at all, and he hasn't spoken to him in 8 years. And the last I read, his brother Tim said that he's considering even joining the Trump team. So we'll happen to see how that goes. And speaking of joining the Trump team, really we all know people who are supporting Trump, but they won't say much. But I'll have to give RFK Jr. one award, if I had one, and that would be outstanding character, to join up with Donald Trump. Knowing politically they have different backgrounds and different viewpoints. However, he felt that the importance of the country and the character, he supported Donald Trump. And for this, at other times, his brother wrote a book called Profiles in Courage. And if there's one man who's really is demonstrating profiles in courage, it's RFK Jr. There's an endless list of people who've turned on him and hate him, including his own family, for endorsing Donald Trump. And Vanity Fair came out with an article said one of the greatest villains in American history, RFK, because he came out in support of Donald Trump. And the article says they have an endless list of dangerous and grotesque behavior casts doubts on his fitness for office. As one friend put it, that his close one of his former friends, I would assume, said that he goes down as one of the greatest villains in American history. It's unbelievable, the hatred and of this Democratic Party. It consists of a party of pure evil. And there again, Profiles in Courage with RFK Jr. And it's a great book, Profiles in Courage, a great book by his brother, the president. But he's come out with a powerful video, Finish the Job. And it starts with Dwight D. Eisenhower in this video, and President John Kennedy, and his dad, RFK, and it leads into his partnership with Donald Trump. It's a great video to see. It was on X. I'm trying to find it another stations as views as I can, but I'm difficult. But it's called Finish the Job by JFK Jr. Now, some of the things that make us go, or the things around the world, at any rate, around the neighborhood. I drove to my grandson's wedding in uh, June, which happened to be my 80th birthday. But it was that weekend is Jackson's wedding. I drove all the way to Tennessee and all the way back. And one of the things I noticed, and I thought when I got back, when I was in high school, I used to work at a gas station. People would come in, we'd fill her up, always wash the windshield because there's so many bugs and stuff like that. And people would say, "Give me $1 worth and wash the windshield, check the battery." And so we always washed the windshields. I drove all the way to Tennessee, all the way back. I didn't clean my windshield. There was I didn't see a bug on it. And I noticed that it's kind of strange. I used to see bug splattered all over the windshield, but I drove all, through Ohio and Kentucky, and then back up through the south, up the 81 all the way through Tennessee and Virginia and West Virginia and Maryland and Pennsylvania. No bugs, no mosquitoes, no moss, nothing. And that and I was thinking, then I happened to see an article that Dr. Fauci, you all know Dr. Fauci, the COVID-19 guy. That guy gets he was in the hospital for COVID not too long ago, so saying how bad it was. And but he got all the shots. And then he was in the hospital with the Nile River virus. And and he's a big proponent for spraying, killing all these mosquitoes and the like. And I think they're not only killing the mosquitoes, they're killing a lot of other insects that used to be, part of our society, or at least driving in the car. And the federal government really is doing a lot of things that makes us to say, like the Bureau of Land Management is considering 31 million acres. 31 million acres of public land are going to be used for solar power development. Now, that solar power development, if you ask the Germans how well it's worked for them, not very well. Their economy's in the dumpster. And New Jersey residents are very sensitive, and they wanted to go solar power and windmills and the like. They have their electric bills this summer have gone up. I read one household, their family home went up from I believe it was $340 in June, it was $700 in July, and $800 in August, $840 or something like that, and they expect the bill to be $1,200 in September for electric. And one of the things that we see with this green power, that is the trillions of dollars that the Biden administration is spending on, the windmills are falling apart out in the ocean in New England, washing up on the shores. And these propeller wings for these offshore windmills are 80 feet long. That's taking 2 tractor trailers, bumper to bumper, is the length of one of those windmills. Blades, just one blade. And when that washes up on the shores, they fall apart. They're made out of fiberglass and polyester resins and the like. And they don't deteriorate. They just break up, and they're very difficult to get rid of. No landfill wants them because all they are is just air and glass and plastic. That's our government at work. But now they reach in other areas as well, and with their effective DEI. Now, DEI stands for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion programs. And it refers to representing people from a variety of backgrounds, particularly referring to immigrants, people of different races, genders, sexual orientations, disabilities, religious differences, and more. And it goes on all levels of the organization, including from the board of directors down to the equity in management and foremen and the like, down to the labor force. And the reason is to ensure of equity, focusing on fairness and justice. There's never mention of quality or responsibility. And one of the latest champions of this system, not only Budweiser was one of them, and of course, so was Harley Davidson's, that just scrapped their diversity program. But Boar's Head, which was the meat, the premium meat and the delicatessens and the like. Boar's Head was a stellar name. And they had to, they ran into some problems with their production. And they had to recall 32 tons of meat that they distributed. And it's the result has resulted in 10 deaths throughout the United States and 57 people hospitalized in 18 states. And they attribute that to one of the DEI programs that they installed, and it ended up being sloppy work being done. And as a result, Boar's Head went from the prestige of a Cadillac to the well-known communist automobile called the Hugo. So Boar's Head went from the image of a Cadillac down to the image of a Hugo. Stay away from it. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it goes. One other thing that is a point of interest is this BRICS financial thing. The newspaper, American people are not smart enough to know about these things, according to the way we're treated. But BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. That's the 5 countries that started it. And they started it because they were being excluded by the United States, particularly in sanctions and the money transfers, because the United States, the U.S. dollar was the sole purpose of the sole means of buying and selling oil. It was tied to the U.S. dollar. And now, because of this restrictions on these other countries, they formed their own system, which is called BRICS. And they're organized to handle the money, and they're going to have their own their currencies backed by gold. Joining them is, on the list is Saudi Arabia, Iran, the United Arab Emirates, and a few other countries that are joining those. And it's going to have an effect on our economy somewhere down the road. And so we have to get our act together as Americans to vote for the right people, to clean up our voting systems, and to make America great again. And we have candidates throughout the country that are standing in line to do it. And many of the Republican rhinos have been scrubbed in the primaries through different states as well. So we'll see as our fall continues, and I'll keep you informed whatever I can on what I can, and we'll make this country great again. Thank you. Good day.